Hello, welcome to How to D&D. Yes, we are back to world building. It rolls around pretty quickly. Every 2 months, the program comes back to world building after we've done everything else. And so today is the day. This will, of course, be the last time in 2022 that we do world building because there won't be too many more classes on Dungeon Master preparation before I take a holiday. So let's make the most of this. I have kind of slanted this, but ultimately in the end, I'm going to put up a poll, and it's really going to be up to the group what we do, rather than just because I say something like mushroom world building. That's actually got nothing to do with it. It's all about the group, the people here in the live chat. You build the world. You have the input. We do what you want to do, essentially, in many respects. So, yeah, feel free to take part in that poll. I will be doing my slideshow first, and then once I've done the slideshow, we'll go to Q&A, and then we're going to go straight into world building because we need to have as much time for that as possible. So yes, you probably want to have some dice ready as well. That would be a smart thing to do, is have some dice available. So let's get cracking into this thing and move on to the next phase. I think I got it all. Yep, it looks like it's all good. Sweet. Hi, welcome to How to D&D. My name is Fred Wheeler, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons because I do that a lot here, don't I? But actually, I could talk about any RPG. I mean, we could build anything under the sun if we wanted to, because this is Dungeon Master preparation. This is Lesson 8, World Building. Can you actually put a lesson into one session? Well, we're going to try to do that. And the overview for today is we're going to cover sources of world building, mapping the world, naming the world and their continents, world creation stories, choosing gods and goddesses or deities, developing the world locations and the world's government, determining what sort of world magic and technology we have, creating races and monster populations, and of course some miscellaneous recommendations. As always on my channel, I will have 3 objectives. That is to explain everything as best I can in terms of the process of building the world, or any kind of world really, and then demonstrate. We'll actually do this, and I want you to participate. So there's a very strong participation aspect to this live stream, so please take that opportunity up. I'm going to refer you to D&D Beyond, which has a combat encounter builder for Dungeons & Dragons 5e. It is currently free, and very shortly I'm sure they will tell us all about their 3D virtual tabletop once they have that going, and any other tools they might have penciled away for release in 2023. Okay, sources of world building. What are the sources of world building? Personally, for me, I build a world from personal experience, and I would suggest doing the same thing for yourself. Use your own personal experience to build the world. Modifying things like history for a fantasy or a science fiction world or setting is probably very common. A lot of us do this sort of thing. We have to take our inspiration from somewhere, whether it be history or other cultures. Stealing from pop culture is quite common, say whether it be Middle Earth, the Land of Oz, Narnia, so forth. Player input as you play the game. So I'm going to suggest your source of world building is going to be your players. You can use their backstories from their characters, but you can also help them build the world and help you build the world by allowing it to happen during the game's play. Now, this is a style of doing any kind of game and world building that's not necessarily familiar to everybody or everybody's comfortable with, but I certainly highly recommend giving it a go. Mapping the world. What does mapping the world look like? Well, I'm going to say drawing the world for a roleplay game or Dungeons & Dragons campaign can be achieved a few different ways. You can simply scribe it down on a page of paper with a pen or a pencil. You can use software. You could even use some sort of detailed landscape map. You can even use random generators. There's a lot of software out there that allows you to do those sorts of things. No matter what way you use the method that you feel most comfortable with. Naming the world. Okay, naming the world is a big factor. It's probably one of the first things you're going to be looking at. What is the name of the world or the continents? In fact, do the worlds, or does your world or continents actually need a name? They may not need the name to start with. When you've been exposed to so many different forms of worlds and continents from history and pop culture, you've already been exposed to a lot of this, okay? And I would say to you, it's probably sensible to consider this a moving and changing landscape. So you could have multiple names for the world if you wanted to. Ask the players to name the world. Some players will be quite happy to do so. In fact, you can take multiple names from the players and you can keep the ones you like and ditch the ones you don't like. The same world can have, as I said, many different names across different civilizations or cultures. This happens in our own world. It can happen in your fantasy world or science fiction world as well. World name generators can also do the work for you. If you are struggling, you could use a world name generator. There's plenty of them out there. So we've kind of covered the basics around building a world and where to get the ideas for doing that. But there's another factor here, and that is the world creation story. What kind of makes a world really interesting is having your own creation story, which you don't have to have. What is your world creation story? Will you even have one? In fact, it may be that nobody really knows what the world creation story is. They could simply be theories or myths or legends. And anyone can actually make this up, not just the dungeon master. So you might have different creation stories from the dungeon master, yourself, and from the players at the table, based on whatever their character has decided as part of their culture. The world, I'm going to give you a bunch of different creation story ideas because I have pulled them from the internet and put them into a list of the sort of the basics. The world is created by a supreme being or super being. And this is quite a common one. We see this almost all the time. The world emerges over a long period of time as a metamorphosis that occurs. So it's actually changing and morphing over time. This would be, a good example would be evolution in our own world. But that might be something else again outside of that. You're dealing with a fantasy world. You can do anything you like. You could also have two primal mother-father super beings that birth the world. Often this is a story you see within the Pacific Island community where there's mother-father, they come together and the world is born from that. You can also have the world hatching from a cosmic egg laid by a deity if you wanted to, a little bit like a hen or a chicken laying an egg. You can also have two companion gods or goddesses represented by good and evil, and then you will have one of them dive into a water source to pull the world into existence. This is actually a very common world creation story, again, certainly if you go back far enough. And then lastly, the gods transformed the corpse of a dead giant or a dead god itself into the world that we have today. So there are lots of different ways you can look at it. This is not, of course, an extensive and infinite list. And this is not everything you could do. You could do something outside of this, but these are fairly common ones that you could pick up. So we've talked about the creation story. We also need to look at what sort of gods and goddesses, what are your deities for this world, yeah? Who is the god of the world, and who are the gods? There may be more than one. You may have goddesses, you may have just powerful beings. Ask the players who their character actually worships. This is a really good time to sort of pick the brains of your players. They will have an idea, in some cases, of whoever they decided to worship. Now they might take one from existing Dungeons and Dragons worlds or from existing lore or mythology. That's fine. And they may have changed it, they may not have changed it, they might have tried to make something relatively original, but then of course nothing is in fact original, but you can pull from their ideas. And the great thing about this is if you don't like it, it can still exist. You just don't need to build too much into it. You know tons of gods. So when you get to this, you will actually not struggle. You actually already know tons of gods from history, mythology, and folklore that you can select. And you can also steal. You can steal from other fantasy genres, science fiction, even Dungeons and Dragons lore. Just pick something. You can change things around. You can reverse the names if you like. You can slightly adjust the details. I'm going to refer you to the Player's Handbook for Dungeons and Dragons 5e, and pages 293 through to 299 actually has a nice extensive list of different deities and gods and goddesses that you could use if you wanted to. Of course, you don't have to, but you could. So we've done with the deities, done with the gods. We need some world locations. And when I say world locations, I don't necessarily mean the continents. We've kind of already done that. What we're now looking at is we're sort of looking down at the microorganism here. What sort of locations, what sort of settlements, what sort of cities does the world have? Do they even have settlements and cities? There's many places around the real world that you have seen that you can poach and adjust for your group's play. I do this all the time. I will pick something that I've seen in a real picture from real history or archaeology, and then I will incorporate it into the world that I'm creating. Now, Dungeons & Dragons has a Dungeon Master Guide for 5e, and you will find a wealth of ideas with regard to locations if you look at page 99, page 109, page 112 to 114, and then 292 through to 295 of the Dungeon Master Guide for 5e. Plenty of ideas there. What is the starting location in the world? You might be thinking, okay, does that mean it's going to be it could be just a tavern, it could be a village, it might be a city, it's up to you. It might not be any of those sorts of things, but you probably want somewhere in your world that's going to be the starting location for any kind of adventure when you springboard from this. Where did the player characters come from? Use their village or town. Like, I would seriously, talk to the players when they build their character and they decide to come up with a village or town. They might ask you what villages and towns are there, but you could say you can make up the name of your village or town, and they've done part of the work for you. What about using your own hometown, like in the real world? Like if you have a hometown, home city, you could use that. You know it really well. You modify it, you change the name, change a few things around, make it fit the setting, and you're away. You've got what you need. So locations are actually not as hard as you might think sometimes. It's actually much easier. World governments. Okay, you probably know a lot about world governments. Who or what is the government and power in this world that you're creating? So you actually deal with government every single day of your life. This should not be hard for you to figure out. And you will have a fairly good idea of the different types of governments that exist right throughout the world already. So you can use them and port them into your game. If you don't know about different types of civilizations, I'm assuming that you haven't been living under a rock, but it does feel like you might have if you've not ever figured some of this stuff out. But even if you haven't, it doesn't matter, because the Dungeon Master Guide for Dungeons & Dragons 5e and many GM guides or DM guides actually have information on this. The Dungeon Master Guide for 5e on page 18 through to 19 has a pretty extensive list. Many of them are actually repeated, the same sort of concept, just slightly refined in some way. The definitions with regard to governments can be quite complicated sometimes. But if you take those ideas and you distill them down to the absolute basics, they come down to these. You have the monarchy, which is ruled by a single sovereign leader who is limited by the law of the land and also is in service to its citizens or peasantry. Basically, that's how it works. This is your king and your queen. Then we have democracy. I'm sure more than a few of you understand what that is, where you have a ruling body that is elected. They elect representatives and they have to work for the citizens, and the citizens will vote them into power. So this is a slightly different version. You know this well. The oligarchy is a government formed by a few persons or families. So it's a bit more restrictive. Probably not quite as restrictive as a monarchy, but certainly it can be very restrictive. It's kind of a little bit like that, but not completely. Then you have authoritarianism, which is basically a dictatorship. It is opposed to individual freedom of thought and action by a central leader. And this is basically your tyranny or your dictatorship. So I'm sure you can figure out that one. And then theocracy is ruled by priests, the church, temples, and they will be agents of some sort of deity, god, or goddess. So they actually manage everything in the world. Now, you can have and use many of these different government systems in different civilizations or nations throughout your world. So you don't have to just stick to one, you can use many of these. And that'll get your world government sorted out pretty quickly. World races. We want to have some various races. Now, the going thing now is we're looking at the word race being changed to species. Now, the concept of the word race may be appropriate in your setting and it may not. It's up to you. Whether you use the word race or species, as I said, is up to you. So what are the races in your world? Player characters haven't encountered all the races yet. They won't have had a chance to meet every single one of them. So you don't have to present all of them and have them all figured out straight away. So just pick a few that you know of from fantasy fiction and you can add the rest later on. I would suggest modifying real-world animals to create new fantasy races if you want to, or in this case you might be calling them fantasy species if you'd like. Select a handful of races from the player's handbook. You can refer to page 18 through to 43 of the Player's Handbook for Dungeons & Dragons 5e, and if you're using a different game system, like I said, just go to their race section and just select a few that you like. You can even, as I said, make up your own. And the rest you will do later on. You don't have to do it straight away. Moving on from the different races and species, we have world magic. What does that look like in the game? Well, it can look like anything you like. Does the world actually have magic? How does it work in your world? Really, these questions kind of crack me up a little bit because, the easiest way to solve the problem of how things work in terms of magic is magic, it's mysterious, it's amazing, and we can't answer all the questions around it because, of course, if we could, that would be science. So I'm going to refer you to page 23 through to page 24 of the Dungeon Master Guide for Dungeons & Dragons 5e, where you will find a little bit of information about how to build up magic for your games. Are you going to be dealing with high or low magic worlds? Are there going to be magic shops? You need to answer that question because players are probably going to ask that question. Where are the magic shops? Are there any? Is magic connected to technology? Sometimes you'll have a world where magic is divorced from the type of technology that's used in the world, and then sometimes magic is intertwined with technology. Can the dead be brought back to life in this world that you have created? Is that possible? Is there magic that will do this? Is transportation able to be achieved by teleportation, or do they need to use a different method to commute from one place to another? This being, of course, the most extreme, teleportation, but maybe there are other vehicles that allow them to travel from one place to another. Are there schools of magic, and what are they? You could just use the schools of magic already presented by Dungeons & Dragons, or Pathfinder, or anything you like. Or are you going to make it more restrictive? Are we looking at something that isn't got 8 or 9 different schools? Are we looking at something much more simple, like maybe the elements? You've restricted it down to air, water, earth, and fire, and that's it. That's where the magic is drawn from. So different ways of looking at magic. Those are the questions you want to ask yourself, and you don't have to answer all those questions straight away. You can actually take your time with them. Now, I was talking about technology before, so world technology connecting to magic. Now let's focus down on technology itself. What technology does the world have? And I'm going to say it now, you know enough about different types of technology from your life experience and schooling that I shouldn't really have to answer this question. But if you're struggling, I will tell you some different sources of technology that you could pull from. And of course, this is not the only list or the complete list, so you can, of course, expand on this over time if you need to. I'm going to refer you to windmills. This is mechanically moving a mechanism by using wind power. You could have steam-powered engines or contraptions. This is where, of course, you're heating water, creates steam. You use the pressure from the steam to push pistons or a mechanism around. And that's how you generate your technology, from steam. You could be burning fossil fuels. to power a machine. Now, you know all about this because we use a lot of petrol, diesel, stuff like that, coal. So fossil fuels could be one of the options. Or are we a bit more advanced and we're dealing with something like solar power, where energy is captured from the sun and then used later on when it's required? Are we generating electricity or electrical energy in some way, either through the movement of water or various other ways, and then storing it for use later on? Or are we taking radiation from atomic energy? So we're using fission or fusion in some way, and that's the kind of technology we're dealing with here. You can have multiple different types of technology within the same world, because you might find that the different cultures and nations that you have are divorced enough from each other that they actually have evolved different types of technology if you wanted to. Right, one of my favorite things to talk about, monster population and monsters. And building that up is a big factor. What are the monsters in the world that you have created? Everyone will find out in the campaign as you play it, okay? As you play through your adventures in your campaign world, people are going to find out, including the Dungeon Master. You don't need to make all those decisions straight away. Select some creatures or monsters that you think your players and you would be interested in from the monster books or monster manual, whatever you're using. And then you can also take inspiration from movies that have monsters in them to populate your world if you wanted to. You can use books from various fiction novels to fuel your imagination for your own monster creation. You can steal ideas from other sources other than just what they provide you in Pathfinder roleplay games and Dungeons and Dragons. And then lastly, and this is quite common, this is what Advanced Dungeons and Dragons was built on, and that is drawing from real world biology, where you take the real world and the biology that exists, you use archaeology, okay, and then you wind up in anthropology and you create different monster concepts. And what you're essentially doing is taking different creatures and jamming them together to create something new. That's where it gets a bit more complicated, and you don't, as I said, need to do that straight away. But you can at least make a small list of monsters without too much work. Now, with everything that I do on this channel, I always like to give you some miscellaneous recommendations when it comes to world building. And again, I want to do that again, and that is, please, just make some sort of world quickly. Get it started, get it done. You can get this done within about an hour and a half. You will have the basics that you need to get going. What is the plot of your campaign or your campaign world? You don't need to worry about that. That's the adventure. Building the world is a different thing. World building and adventure creation are completely removed from each other. They don't actually have to be folded in. In fact, they're actually different things. So don't feel like when you're building your world, you need to be writing the adventure at the same time. Separate those things. What you're trying to do is not a novel. It's not a movie. You're not writing a script. If you are focusing on plot, again, I'll refer you back to that's building an adventure, not a campaign world. And that sort of stuff unfolds as the players play the game. You as the Dungeon Master don't have to do those sorts of things. Now you might be thinking, yeah, but what about like real world threats? Okay, yes, you can have major threats that exist within the world, and you might have a few listed, and that's fine, but they don't need to be there to start off with. That's actually your adventure stuff. Okay, and then lastly, no one knows the truth about anything in your world because of the passage of time and bias. So you don't have to have definitives. You can have things that will contradict themselves. You can have things that will change over time. So you don't need to know everything and all things as a Dungeon Master when you create a world for any kind of roleplay game, Pathfinder, Dungeons and Dragons, or any kind of sci-fi world. Like, it doesn't matter, okay? You will manage most of this as you go. And as time goes by, if you decide to stick with the same world, it will expand. And if you decide you've got to make a different world every single time, then of course you will have multiple worlds that you can use. And whether you expand on them or not may or not be what you want to do. But this is my advice to you. Don't give yourself a hard time about world creation. Just get it done. Okay? Otherwise, I see too many people who spend 6 months or more or years trying to build a world and never actually run their own stuff. Now, I'm hoping that this was useful to you, and if it was, great. And thank you for watching. Now, if you have any questions or any feedback that you would like to give, this is the time. Use the comments section. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. Just give me a second. I just need some drink. And I think, I think. Okay, all right. Yep, let's head on back and let's go to Q&A, get through the Q&A nice and quick, and then get going on actually making some stuff. Today is a work day. It's a very hot day in my office. It's going to be an interesting process, I have to say. We are, of course, getting very close to Christmas, so I am aware that there won't be that many people here to participate. So for those of you who are here and willing to participate, you're going to be working quite hard. I hate to say it because, yeah, it is getting closer and closer to the end of the year. Okay, so let's have a look at our poll. We've got 9 votes and building a mushroom world. So 78% actually like the idea. Now, why did I choose a mushroom world? Because it's one of the most, it's kind of like a cliche fantasy concept, is having a mushroom world. It's part of the reason why there's a mushroom world for Sonic the Hedgehog and the Mario Brothers, those particular video games. Just because it is such a cliche concept. So I thought, well, let's create a cliche world. And if people are happy to do that, great. They want a different world, 11%. Are you mad? Nobody thinks I'm mad, apparently. I was at least expecting 1 vote. And then we have just watching, which is 11%. Okay, so it looks like we're doing a mushroom world. We'll see how that progresses. I've always find that when I do these sorts of things, things may not stay on target. We may wind up veering off. We have veered off on other occasions when it comes to doing this sort of thing. So, hello Fendar. Fendar is a patron, also a moderator. Thank you for being here. Fendar is a gem when it comes to providing feedback on the sort of thing. I found him very, very useful. And also Noroak, who has also a patron and creates his own stuff. And I appreciate his feedback because he's always very good at doing this sort of thing as well. And then we have Wing Walker 007. I love 007. I haven't personally met Wing Walker, but thank you for being here. I look forward to your input tonight or today. For me, it's the afternoon, scorching here in a room where I will melt. So, there isn't too many questions going on, so let's get on with business. Let's move over to our process. And I need to make sure I get my screen up. That bit there, almost done, people. Just give me a second and then we'll get busy. Gonna get busy very, very soon. Very, very soon. Okay, so maybe I need to move my head. Is that the right one? That doesn't look like the right one. It looks like something else. No, that didn't work. Bear with me, people. I have technical issues. That's not the right thing. It's this. There we go. I got you. You sneaky thing, you. Come over here. All right, so that should keep everything out of the way. Like my big head doesn't need to be in the way, correct? And we can actually make it bigger, but that would actually cause more hassle, so I actually think I stay small. Hopefully I don't get in the way. Okay, all right. And then I need to make sure my phone is up before I get started. Mushroom World. La da 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 da. Gonna be curious to see how people name this. Okay, no, I don't want a ringtone. That's not what I'm after. Okay, that's all good. All right, so we'll see how I do without the glasses on, because it looks like the chat and then my eyes, it's not going to be a good combination today. Obviously my eyes are a bit weak today, unfortunately. Seems to be a regular thing nowadays, doesn't it? Okay, here we go. We're in the zone. So let's name this world. Hashtag name the world. The world. And I will let you come up with some names, people, while I just separate things a little bit. Now, it could be the name of the world. It could be the name of a continent. I think any of those would be perfectly fine. That's what I'm looking for. For those of you who are wondering what has happened to the project we were working on where we were doing shop names. There was so much stuff. I'm still working my way through it. So the document will probably be over 6 pages long when you finally get it on Patreon. Oh, by the way, everything that I do here, it all goes onto Patreon. Okay, it all goes there. That's my intention, is to make sure it's available there. And it will be an open document for patrons. You can pay as little as $1 a month if you would like, and you get everything that we ever make and everything that I make. Okay, so we've got our first name. We're rocking. I think between 5 and 10 names is probably a good number. So feel free to provide multiple names. If the chat gets too quiet, that's always a bad thing. So thank you, Nora, to getting us started. That's great. Wing Walker, you like that? So Wing Walker, I'll tell you what. I'll make up a name, and you can make up a name. So you have to be subscribed for at least 20 minutes to be able to use the comment section, and that's just to keep the bots out and to make sure that people are actually invested in the community. I want you to be part of the process, right? Mushy. Fendar's put down Mushy. So I'm going to take the word multiverse, and I'm going to use that part of that word. What is one of the easiest ways to actually create a name is to take part of a word, twist it around, change things around. Okay. Hello, Nacho Man, also a patron and supports me on Patreon. Thank you for being here. Hope to hear your ideas very shortly. So I'm going to go multiverse and go to verse, and then I'm going to turn it round and write it the other way and see what I get. So this is Ezravit. Ezravit is quite a complicated word, but we'll put in my two names. I'll put to verse, and I'll put this is reversed. So this is ESRET. Is it a good name? Is it a bad name? It doesn't matter at this point, people. All that matters is that we get names down. You do not need to be sorry for being late. There is no such thing as being late. I do 2-hour live streams. It would be crazy to not be. Continents. Fungu. And then we've got Spora. Of course. Shroom. Shroomus. Now, you don't need to give it a name that's mushroom-like, people. So we're kind of doing Mushroom World today, since that's what people want to do. But if that's not your thing, just throw us stuff that isn't that. So Wing Walker, you got to it before I thought you could. Okay, I thought I'd be quicker than you. You got there. Right, we got a name. So this is called Agricus. I think it's Agricus. Okay. Just in time. This is why it's good that I go over the same program material repeatedly, right? Got to love retail and Christmas time. Yes. Okay, so I'm supposed to be talking about the Ramehas. I'm supposed to be doing Monster Lore and Workshop tomorrow, and I don't think it's going to happen, people. I think I'm going to be screwed. Just work, for me right now, is just chaos, and I have limited time as it is. I will still do a Monster Workshop tomorrow, but the Ramehas may have to wait till next week. And I know that's a bummer, but I would prefer to do it properly rather than to make a mess of it. Okay, so we got 2 more slots. Let's get 10 names, and at that point we can go from there. What about this? What about Zig? Is it Zig Mug? Zig Mug. This is your lunch break. That's right, you're working. I forgot. That's right, you're at work. Zig Mug. So we've got Zig Mug because mug, Zigzagging, Zigmug. That's the name that I have selected. So please feel free to put one in. Mycon. Why not Mycon? Doesn't what is it? Transformers have like a world that they have? Is it Omicron, or is it something? Kind of sounds kind of like a con. It also sounds a little bit like a mushroom, but it's all technology based. I can't remember exactly. Well, we have enough names, so we can actually probably move on to the next thing. If people want to drop in some more names, you'll let me know. So hashtag. Let's start our way on create. Select or create races. Let's do some races, people. Need some Mario references if we're going to do Mushroom World. Well, if you're going to give me Mario Mushroom references, by all means do so, but make sure you go hashtag world and what it is. Otherwise, it's going to get confusing. Oh, Cybertron. Yeah, Cybertron. I almost feel like the Tron name could go with something else. Is it Mushtron? It's not a Fungtron. Funtron? Is it Funtron? Just doesn't sound right at all. What else is it? Stool. Stool is a toadstool. Stooltron. Okay, I know I'm getting silly, people. That happens here. We always get silly. Okay, so races. Now, if you don't pick some races, I will just do it myself, people. You know this. So you have to throw some races my way. How do you do that? Pick up the player's handbook and just pick some stuff out of there. Like it's not that hard. Anything. Now, when we say races, we're talking about races that aren't sort of the monster population that you could potentially use as player character options. Fun guy. Ha ha ha. Isn't there is there a Fun Guy movie? I think there is. The Respore race. The Respore. Respori. There we go. Oops, that's bold. That's not what's supposed to be happening. Let's undo that business. Go italic and number it. Respore. Hello, Spirit Wolf. How are you? Welcome back. Now, I am feeling like in a mushroom world, you're definitely going to have oozy, squealy thingies. So I'm going to put plasmoid. Plasmoid. Because a plasmoid just seems like it's in the right place. A shroom dwarf. Well, what sort of gnome is it going to be? Do you know what I mean? Fun, one of the gods. Well, we'll come back to gods. Don't start just yet. We'll just deal with the races for now. So shroom dwarf. A shroom dwarf. Okay. Respori. Now, what would be? We need a little bit more of a descriptor for Respori, I think. So, Norok, I know you can do this. Give us an idea of what they look like. So, in a sentence or less, what do a Respori look like? I like the name. It's just we don't have anything to base it on. We know what plasmoid look like. We know what dwarves look like. We just don't know what Respori look like. Turtles. Fine, we'll put turtles in there. A floating octofun. I have to go. I'm at work too. Okay, not a problem, Wing Walker. You go do your work. That's fine. Was it floating fungus octopus? Okay. All right. So I'll put down turtle. I'm still trying to figure out what you're trying to communicate to me here. So Spirit Wolf, are we talking about an octopus playable race, or Or are we talking about something else? Like, is it this a monster? Fungal eaters. Okay. Respori is a playable respawn and spore. Where a Respori dies, it releases spores and becomes more Respori. You shite. You shite. Talk about making it hard. Okay, so octomoid. I guess we're gonna octomoid. I don't know how else do we do this. This is a what? Floating fungus octopus. I almost feel like this is a little bit like a, what do you call it? Flumps. We got to have flumps here. Oh, what did I say? What did I think about that? Octopus. Okay. All right. I think I've got that worked out. All right. So you tell me if I got it wrong. Turtles. We know what turtles look like. Respori. So it's a respawn spore. Respawning spore that looks like a, I guess we're talking about a mushroom. Question mark? I don't know. You tell me. What myconoids? That we've got to have a playable race as a myconoid, right? Fungal eaters. Fungal. Try that. That's fungal. Fungal eaters. I don't really know what fungal eaters look like, so you'll have to explain to me what a fungal eater looks like. Flump. Oh, geez. Let's just grab the book. Suddenly I can't pronounce flump. Say flump. Farting monster. I can say fart monster. Fart here and a fart there. They're very spore-like. Fungus. Violet fungus. No. Flump. Okay, there it is. Flump. F-L-U-M. Oh, my brain is already cooked, baby. Talk about a bad day for being in this office. Okay, so next on my list here, it's moving along. We're doing all right. We have a few races. Well, myconoids. I feel like myconoids have to be here. Myconoids. We know what myconoids look like. Couple more, and I think we've probably got more than sufficient. We could have humans, but this doesn't seem as fun. Hadozi, that was the name, Hadozi. I'm putting down winged baboons, Hadozi. Yes, absolutely. I love the Hadozi. I really like the original lore for the Hadozi, which everybody seems to be very upset about. But I am not from North America. Okay? And I get the reference of a Hadozi being a reference to the Wizard of Oz and the flying monkeys from the Wizard of Oz. And that's the only reason that I really like them. I don't see them as anything else, space monkeys. Yeah. Okay, I think I got your, I don't know what the fungal eaters look like, but we'll hopefully find out. Tall, thin beings that have myelin hanging from them. Oh, okay. So now North Oak, what are you talking about? Respori. Okay. Thank you. That'll work. I'll take that information. So this is tall, thin beings. Beings that have what's that? Mycelium hanging from them. Kind of disgusting. Okay, so we've got Respori down. We know what the Respori are. And we got our octomoid, basically a flying fungus octopus. We've got our Hadozi. You want mushroom? Okay, so okay. Now you've changed it. Is a mushroom person that is the size of a human. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's go tall, thin mushroom being that have, or hang on for them. Okay, I think that's the best I can do. Combining those ideas, we have lift off. Okay, all right. A poo demon. You want a poo demon? You know my weaknesses, don't you? Poo. You're gonna play a poo demon? I feel like a poo demon's more of a monster, isn't it? Don't you think? We haven't got to monsters yet. You do realise this? Yeah. Nacho wants a poo demon. A fungal eater sounds disgusting. Well, a poo demon's not that bad. Snail supreme. Stop it. I knew the snail thing was going to be rearing its head again. Spawn colony. Spawn colony is the root-like structure of the fungi. Oh, I see. Okay. Slippery slime. Slippery slime. So it's an ooze, basically. Slippery slime. Ooze. Be creature. Ooze species. Okay. All right, so there we go. I put down species primarily because actually species makes sense. The word race actually makes more sense within, say, if you had a whole lot of different turtles that were slightly different, then a race would, referring to the four different types of turtles you could have, race would make sense in terms of the definition of the two words. So, yeah. Don't freak out, people. It's just a word. I'm sure they'll change it later on anyway. All right, gods. Let's have some gods. Let's do some gods. This is the gods. So let me put in the hashtag. The sloth. Embrace this. No, leave that. We've done snail world already. Okay, so leave the snail alone. Okay, hashtag. Create a god. A god. No, I'm just going to say deity. Could be goddess, deity. Deity. Is it dietary? Oh no. Deity. Name. And what of? What of? There we go. Let's guard it. Let's get some gods and deities and some goddesses and gods and goddesses. Gods and goddesses and goddesses. Goddesses. Alright, so educated sloth. We've got an educated sloth. I don't mind putting sloth in. We'll put sloth. I think we all know sloth. There's the sloth. We put the sloth in there as a playable race. How's that sound? Slippery slime, spawning colony, snail supreme, poo demon. Okay, I'm not gonna say snail supreme because that's elitist. But I'll put snail. Okay. Snailoid. There you go. Snailoid. I don't know why I'm doing this. Snail species. There we go. Snailoid. We've created a new silly name. All right. Let's see if we can work our way through the next lot of stuff. If I missed your stuff, it wasn't intentional, and if it was intentional, it was probably for good reason. Okay, the Sluck Weather Goddess. Sluck Weather Goddess. Sluck is the name. Good Lord. Sluck. This is going to be a weird one. Weather Goddess. Sluck. All right, it's done. I put it there. So for those of you who are struggling with creating a god or a goddess, just turn to the Player's Handbook for Dungeons & Dragons 5e, and you'll find a plethora from pages 294 right through. There are gods and goddesses and deities coming out your ears all the way through to about page 299. So plenty of different ideas you can take from all over the place. Oh. I think we need to start getting used to the word species. Look, I don't care. I really don't care. It is just another form of social media silliness that I just don't really. Yeah. If anything, the more I say it, the more I'm taking the piss out of it. But I do acknowledge that it's a better definition. But yeah. I've lived long enough to see the names of things change. It doesn't change the attitude around whatever the name is. That's the thing you need to do, is actually get the attitude around it to change. That doesn't work by just changing names. Anyway, here we go. Norok. Decaeus, the god of death and rebirth. Ooh, Decaeus. Decaeus. It's a cool name. God of death and destruction. I mean, death and rebirth. Rebirth. And there we go. We got that one. Moving down. Snapple, god of drying deaths. Oh my, there's going to be a lot of... Try not to get too many deaths going on here, okay? Snapple, god of drying deaths. Okay, we've got a lot of stuff going here. Guy, Phi. So that's Phi, the eternal dragon. Spirit Wolf, we'll go Phi. It's a short name. Do you think that a dragon would accept such a short name? Eternal dragon. Oh, dragon. I feel like it needs a little something, but it's there. The fun guy, the god of community and prosperity. Oh, you've got to be good Lord. Fender. Okay, fun guy. Thank God this thing is going to be an editable document. It won't be a PDF. You can get rid of anything you don't like, people. Of community and prosperity. Well, at least it's not death. Prosperity. We've got plenty of death gods right now. Okay, so that's number 5. Shit take, god of mushrooms. Oh God. Nacho. Okay. Just keep it clean. Ah, dear. Of mushrooms. Sure. Lanus the snail eater. Lanus the snail eater? You get the eater of snails. Is this a bird? This is like a big bird. The snail eater. Okay. We've got a snail eater now. Fugs poke. They don't all have to start with F though, people. There seem to be a lot of F names coming in here. Fugspo, God of peace and good vibes. Really? You guys, you just like it when I write this stuff down. I know you just like it. You just like making up stuff in the stream and then having me write it onto a document that you know is going to make its way to Patreon. I know this is why you do this, and most of you were patrons in the first place, so you know it's going up there. Okay, all right. So anybody who's new, feel free to throw something in here before my patrons get too silly, because they will. God, we've got a lot of gods. We don't have too many goddesses, but a lot of gods. God of what? Agros, god of war and betrayal. Agro, right, got it. Agros. Nice. God of war and betrayal. I feel like there's going to be a few people who are going to combine the snail world we built with this one. I feel like that might actually happen. Okay. Fender, try not to laugh too hard that you piss yourself. Okay? Make sure to go to the toilet when you need to. Spirit Wolf. Okay. Jeeves, hello Jeeves. How are you? They have gone completely nuts as always. It's pronounced shiitake. Shiitake. Far out. Okay. Fine. I will break it down. If you're going to give me a hard time about the way I've pronounced it, shiitake. Shiitake. The problem is when people come in and you guys go silly like this, either they love it because it's so funny, or either they are turned away by the prospect of something going really, really weird here. I mean, yes. How did I make you cry? What did I say? You guys are doing all this stuff, not me. Sporus, god of disease and mutation. Jeeves is Sporus. I guess Sporus it is. Sporus. God. We're almost done with the gods of everything. God of disease. There's a lot of gods, not too many goddesses. So they won't be making too many god babies, because there won't be enough to get around to do their thing, unless they only have to do it with themselves. Then the gods will be able to breed endlessly. Okay, so Sporus. No, oops, don't want that word. Sporus. We've got your Sporus here. Okay. Spora, the goddess of pestilence. Goddess even. Okay. All right. So, so Sporus, Spora. Okay, Spora. This is the last one. Okay, so I'm going to give you a new prompt, people, because I know what'll happen is you're just going to keep going with this. I'm not going to do world creation story because that always gets really complicated for me. So instead, I am going to give you the hard one. I'm going to go create a location, settlement, or city. Okay, and then I will go back and check up on stuff. Hashtag, because I need to take a break as well. Hashtag create a location, comma. Come on. They create a location, settlement, or city. You know what I mean. Settlement or city. Putting the button in. Here it is. Hevanatha, the goddess of arts. Oh, good lord. Mushrooms and giant space snails. And Mungo's shell. Yeah, I can see that happening. Okay, so I will have to come back and deal with the gods, but we will underline this for now. I'll come back to you later, and then we'll get this location thing going. And this is the locations that we need to be dealing with next. Location. Okay, right. This is where I am going to shuffle over to Arnold. Arnold's going to look after you. I'll be back in 5. I need a break, and then we'll get moving. Jeez. Okay, coming back in. Let's have a look. Okay, interesting. Well, I can see some of the names here. All right, so let's get back to work, I guess. In a land far, far away, where the mushrooms grow, Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so let's go back and make sure I get all of the ones that I've missed from our gods, and then we'll go into. So don't jump into snail racing, people. Again, okay? You've had your fun with snails, people. Spora the goddess. A god, yes, of what? Of pestilence. Was it pestilence? Pestilence. Okay, all right. What's the next one? Happy howling, top of the hour. Happy howling, top of the hour. Okay, thank you. I know I've done my break. Yeah. What's this? Have fun. The goddess of. Oh gosh. Okay. The jokes are coming thick today. The question is, how useful is it to anybody? including yourselves. Dear. It's pretty obvious what you just did there. I saw it. Everybody else is going to understand. So, really? Okay, let's see. Let's do this, this, this. Let's go here. Let's go down. Let's get these names, these locations sorted out. The Happy Hump Swamp. Really, Spirit Wolf? Okay. The Happy Hump Spirit. I'm hoping that this swamp is just got little hills in it, right? Sheesh. And Shroomville. Of course there is. Norroak's Shroomville. Shroomville. Not as in Helensville, where I live, but Shroomville. It's a village. Major Hayes. What does Major Hayes mean? I don't know what Major Hayes means. Village. Major Hayes. You lost me. Sea of the Slim Slimes. Okay. Alright. Sea of the Slim Slimes. Really, would you use this in your own game? Really? That's where we're going. We're going that way. Okay. The Sleep Pit. Really? The Sleep Jeeves? What have you got here? The Sleep Pit? Why do I feel like I should have read the entire entry before I punch this in? What have you got here? A secret club famous for fungus hookah pipes. A dangerous and shady place where adventurers go to get info on dark rumors and plots. The fungus pipes made people drowsy and vulnerable. Fungus. I see what you've done there. Jeeves. Okay. Alright. Try not to get me demonetized. Okie dokie. So, with this rather silly name, we will take out the formatting and put in italic. And is that the right? It's got to be the other one. It's the droider. Okay. Okay, famous for fungus. Hooked pipes. Okay, We've got it. I got it down. Dampened drudgeries. Cool, blimey. Dampened drudgeries. Well, it does sound very drudgy. Drudgeries. Got it. Dampened drudgeries. Snalia. The county of snails. Oh, God. Snalia. Okay. I'm just going to start ignoring the snail stuff if you do too much of it to people. I will. Country of the snails. It will just get changed. It will just get changed. Don't do it, people. Snail racing. I'm ignoring snail racing. That's not a location. Okay. My stool. Fender. My stool. Really? This is what you want me to put in here? My stool. City under the mountain. Okay. Okay. All right. Well. City under a mountain sized mushroom. Yep. That protects it from acid rain. Not bad. Okay. What's this? Hyphia. Hyphia? Haifu. The great city of what? Of high mushrooms. Aha. Ha 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 ha. Ah dear, I should have known that having a title in there that says mushroom is going to be a problem. Nota, nomadic floating city. Okay, Spirit Wolf, I'm gonna get it down. No nutter. Nomadic. Yeah. Floating city. Okay. We've got that one. We've got enough locations. Okay, so here I'm going to type in a new keyword. Creation story. Hashtag. Creation. So world creation story. Creation. No, don't do that. World creation story. That's what we're after now, world creation story. Well, I try to get through my backlog of locations here, which frankly is very high. Dinomancer, also a patron. Hello, welcome for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for Nata no K no Hiki Koko, a place where spellcasters hang out called the Magic Mushroom. Course. The Magic Mushroom, and it is a magic user tavern. Are we happy? Okay, cool. Got working an hour. Not a problem, Dinomancer. Just hanging out today. No problems. That's all good. You can just hang out. The village mayor chief is named Hayes. Oh, I see. Okay. Hayes. Mayor's name, Hayes. Where did I find Hayes? I saw it a second ago. Hayes. Going from large to small text is hard for me. Very hard. Okay, I think I got it in the right place. If I have, I have. Great. If I don't, I don't. Okay. Corpse flowering forest. Okay, I can live with that. Corpse flowering forest. The corpse flowering forest. Name of the mushroom garden. The spore shores. Jeez. I'm a little bit. The spore shores. The spore shores. It's a mushroom garden. Okay. You know, not everything needs to be directly about the mushroom. You could extend yourself. Hookah pipes are used to smoke various things. Yes, Jeeves, but I'm not going to put hookah. I put hooked pipes quite deliberately on my part. Also called shisha pipes. Shisha. Okay, I'll put the word shisha in there. Okay, shisha pipes. Where is it? Fungus pipes. Shisha. Fungus. Hooked. Shisha. Shisha. I think it's shisha. Okay. All right. When mushrooms are the name, Zugamoit spreads her spores of madness to us all. Well, I suppose it is. Milton. Hello, Milton. How are you? Yes. I'm doing my best to rein them in and control them in a not very successfully. What the hell did I just walk into? Country of the snails. That's amazing. Now, well, it's not. It's not country of the snails. We're working with mushrooms, and the mushroom jokes are flying thick today. The mushroom maze. Ah, I like the mushroom maze. We'll take the mushroom maze. Is this the mushroom maze? The mushroom maze. Okay, so I just got to get the name down. My cellar what? My cellar. Oh, God, blimey! This I can't even see the name properly. My eyes are just all over the place. They're having to readjust constantly, and I can't do this easily and fast either. I think that's right. Labyrinth. No, I think that's not what you intended. But the name is, yeah, it's it's Michael Labyrinth. Okay, okay. So now I just got to put down mushroom maze. Okay. Okay, we've got the floating fungus mountains. Floating fungus. This is from Avatar, right? I recognize the play on that movie almost immediately. Okay, so this is where things get interesting. It's going to be about world creation stories, and hopefully I've slowed you down not that much. I'll see you later, Jeeves. Have to go, sadly, but yeah, no. Monsters Mario. But the monsters, Mario, the Great Mushroom Stomper. Okay, if I ever remember that one. It's probably not going to happen. So let's see if I have got world creation stories now. Yes, that's quite possibly a way that the world could be created. And I mean, let's get real. Would you prefer me to do what other YouTubers do, which is basically say I'm going to do world creation, world building with you, and they take none of the comments from the chat whatsoever, and they just do their own thing, which I could do because many people on YouTube are already doing that. Or we could do this. The world spawned from a moldy piece of bread. Fair enough. The world spawned from a piece of from a moldy piece of bread. Well, must have taken a while. Let's see. Let's do that. Moldy piece of bread. Okay, so next. No, we're not doing monsters. I'm not doing monsters. We're doing world creation story, not monsters. If you guys jumped the gun and decided you're not doing that bit and you're going monsters, you've decided to change it. We're doing monsters by the looks of it. Okay, so be it. I'm the one supposed to be directing it. Not. Oh, okay. Here we go. Hashtag. Create monsters. So the only creation story we have is the world was created by a piece of moldy bread, apparently. Overboard, hello, how are you? This is... Sheesh, call blimey. Oh dear. No problems. You spamming away. Okay, well, the only way I'm going to be able to keep up with this is to actually jump ahead a little bit. So if you're going to spam, I'm going to have to just dump. Otherwise, I'm never going to keep up with it. So, yeah. Stay on target. Here we go. So let's see, what was the first thing? I think you said monsters or treasures. I'm going to have to jump around a little bit here. No. Okay. Let's just take that. Copy. Back over here. And monsters. And I will just dump them. We'll just dump them like so. And then we'll go here and I will just format it. Unformat it. I need to go with the droid. And then I need to break it all up. Fungus mimics. Sure. So these are mimics that only disguise themselves as a piece of fungus. Spore cloud. Oh dear, spore cloud. Mind control. Mind control pod. Sheesh. Man, it's so warm today. I am so hot. It's just unbelievable. It's going to be a real problem over summer. The bellowing bloomer. What is the bellowing bloomer? I don't even... It's a name. It sounds interesting, but I have no idea what it is. Dreamer spores. We don't have to just have spores, people. We can have other things. Monsters can exist here that aren't mushrooms. Okay? Or spores. The sparkle frog? Sparkle frog? Sparkle frog. Really? Oh, God. Yeah. This worked. Here we go. All right. Let's just take that and put a number beside it. I regret I regret so many things sometimes. So treasure. Magic treasure. Don't jump the gun, people. We're getting. I hate to think what would happen if I put in threats right now. So here, there, treasure. This is. All right, we're going to pull it straight out of the chat if I can find it. Good Lord. Do you know how much extra time it actually takes me sometimes to actually pull all these ideas? I have to rewatch the live stream myself. It's literally what happens is I wind up with my having to actually go back and rewatch the things to write down all your ideas and play it in slow motion. Like literally, that's it's like a full-time job again. Okay. Okay, so this is some sort of treasure. I don't know, a web like fungus. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what that's all about. I'll just leave that there. I'm assuming that if I go out of this, I will go back to actually dealing with monsters or the creation stories. I'm hoping it's creation stories because we didn't really get that many. And we're still got about half an hour. Okay, all right, so let's see if we can actually get this creation stories up and running. Okay, so what's this? A dung beetle, a grazer cattle. Good Lord. Let's see if I can find. I think that's where you wanted it to go. Mad capilla. Oh, good Lord. Capilla, the dung beetle. That's a real thing. Dung beetle does in fact exist. And then the grazer cattle. That just sounds like a creature. Okay. It's rare to get a word formed from the abyss rather than a world formed pulled into the abyss. A piece of Zygmoid's realm was removed by force of good and was mostly petrified. The piece was formed into... Oh, okay. No, that's not a bad one. So I need to make sure I get that. How am I going to find it? Because there's no way I can type all that. That's going to just take me forever. So let's go here. And I guess if I can find Fendar's mouldy bread statement, that would help. I am so far behind. Mouldy bread. Here we go. Let's take this bit. Copy it. And then I'll just jump back over here. Chuck it in here. Paste it. And there we have a new origin story. Dun, dun, dun. World creation story. Dun, dun, dun. Just like that. And okay, I think that was all good. Alright, so moving through. No. Ah! Yeah. Yep, we got that. Yes, they are mad. Absolutely. Okay, I have to create a creation. I have. Yeah, I got the creation story. All right, I got it. I like the origin story myself. From a teenager's sports locker. What? From a teenager's sports locker? I have no idea what that means. Love the energy today. It's because if we don't, we will all perish. Those of us in New Zealand are probably melting. Creation story. Deep beneath the earth, a magical fungus became self-aware and tendrils. Dinomancer's creation story is not too bad, actually. I have to find it though. That's the problem. I literally need a typist, which of course I can't afford, to be able to keep up with you guys. No, that didn't work. I went too far. Fendar's Molly Bread made me laugh way more than it should. Okay, so yeah, that was not intended the way you may have been. Technology. Oh, he's gone technology as well now. Creation story. Okay, so I'm not actually as far back as I had thought I was. So I may be able to catch up. Blimey. Huh. All right. And we're not doing too bad for time. I mean, in terms of what we normally get done in any given exercise like this, we haven't done too bad. Creation story. Deep beneath the earth. Deep beneath the earth, a magical fungus became self-aware, and its tendrils burrowed and spread throughout the Earth's mantle, creating a catastrophic calamity. Yes, and now you have Mushroom World. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, so that's that one. So it's a product of feeding off another world. Okay, all right, that sounds fine. Dungeons and Chronics, hello. I'm sorry I took so long to acknowledge you. We need oozes. Look, oozes, I'm fine with you having oozes for monsters. That's fine. You can have oozes for monsters. I just want to get I got an idea from Monster Fungus Man that called themselves Funguis. No, not again. I've heard that joke before more than once in this live stream. I think a mushroom world would have some kind of creature that is flat and spongy like... I didn't realise you were walking until it's too late. Okay, all right. Dinomancer. Technology. Wooden items are made mostly of lacquer mushroom. Okay, all right. So you're doing technology as well. Let's see. Here's the problem: is we haven't done magic yet, and we're all over the place in terms of what I'm trying to collect up, which is a little tricky. Do you know, I do feel like a world like this is probably not going to have a government. Why is that? Because who wants a fungus world? Like, nah. Technology Dynamancer. Let's see if I can find Dynamancer's technology. Dynamancer and your technology. There it is. Let's pull that out of here. Copy that. Bring it in over. And we'll paste it in here. Okay. So, somewhere over the rainbow, beyond the great mushroom, there is a place where there is a singing frog on a lily pad. Wooden items are mostly made of lacquer mushroom. Metalwork is rare, and smiths use various spores as reagents, like flux, abrose, and coal. Okay, so this, to me, seems like we're dealing with a couple of different ideas here. Mushroom. Okay, that's two different ideas. We will take them and we will italic it. We will number it. And I'm going to try to get back to where we were, which I'm not entirely sure that I have anything else I can... where were we? I was trying to deal with that. Okay, so this is why we love you so, Fred. I'm sure that's why you do. I'm sure that's why you do. This is why you come to... I know you guys. I know who comes to all of my stuff. Like, even half the time you're not that interested. The live stream, how many times are you saying? I don't know. Are you serious? I say the word, are you serious? And frankly, I think, or actually, and frankly, actually. I mean, good Lord. There's a few of them, isn't there? 5 to 20. Okay, so overboard. Fred, normally it's like, come on guys, give me something, come on guys, roll some dice. Okay, yeah, too slow. Well, I'm too slow today. They eat all the plants, and their dung grows mushrooms and dung beetles, harvesting the spores from... Oh my gosh, where did you get this from? Your mind is somewhere very strange, Dynamancer. Let's see if I can find it in amongst all of this stuff here. This seems like it's technology that you're trying to port over here. Now, I don't know what else to say. Frankly, I did it again. Look, I said it. I said that word. Can just change my name from Fred to Frank? How's that sound? Fraser cattle. They eat all the plants and their dungs. Okay, I'll deal with that later. I think I got it. And I didn't italicize it. So I should italicize it. Correct? It's italicized. Moving it down. Can I catch up? Script for an entire world was dropped and started to mold. What? And that's how the world was made. I am a script for an entire world was dropped. And I am lost. You've lost me, Milton. I'm trying to figure out what that means. Don't forget to like and sub. Yes, liking and subbing is a good idea. If you can subscribe for at least 20 minutes and then stay here, you can join in the crazy nonsense that we do. Monster. All right, so there's a monster here. Okay, so we can finally go back to monsters. Oh, there we go. We've already got quite a few monsters, but they're all for one person. So I will accept new entries for monsters. I'm putting in one of the patrons' names is going in. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, can I see it straight? My eyes are so bad now. There's so much sweat in my eyeballs that it's actually hard to see. Oh no. Okay, I don't know what that is. I've written it down. Fagus. No. Monster. My crack and some jokes. Oh dear. Leaving that one. Creation story, Dynamancer. A lich cast a spell and backfired and poisoned all. Okay, alright, okay. Oh, that's a creation story. We can stick that creation story in there. If we get 5 creation stories, I'm not gonna worry too much about creation stories after that. I think we're all done. Is this Dynamance's creation story? It is Dynamance's creation story. Here we go. Here we go. Dynamance's creation story. And taking it across. Whew. It's gonna be a rough night. After this, I'll be so sticky, and then still be at work. Oh, not gonna be fun. That is there. We go. A lich cast a spell that backfired, poisoning all of the grain in the land. No, didn't work. Any who ate the grain were diseased and slowly decayed and became a breeding ground for rampant fungus growth. Okay, that is how the world was created, apparently. Technology. The Harmony Heart. It uses the heart of decayed matter to generate electricity. Oh, interesting. Decay is the way to go. Technology is decay. Interesting. The Harmony Heart. It uses the heart of decaying matter to generate electricity. I wonder if you can actually do that. Is that a thing? Decaying matter. Okay, so that's that one down. Later, Fred and friends. See our Dungeons and Chronics. I probably missed you already. Mine is straight out of a jacket. A razor blade. What's here? Please light the campfire for me. No problem. We are lighting the campfire. I'll see you later. Okay, sure thing. Okay, it looks like I caught up. I will in 10 minutes when I go back to work. You want me to stop? Okay, so now let's stay on track. We did it all right. I'm going to put in a new entry since we are 40 minutes in. We can come back to some stuff. Let's deal with magic. Okay, I think that's... How does magic work? Hashtag. How does magic work? How does magic work? That's our question. We're dealing with magic. It's all about the magic now. World threats. Oh, good Lord. You want me to put a world threat in? I should have deleted that. That was actually something I was working on and I never finished. And I left it out because I thought, no, world threats are adventure stuff. And I'm actually going to exclude it. I'm deleting it. It's going. Should have got rid of it sooner. Gone. Okay. We'll do adventure building some other day, and that's we're leaving that alone. Okay. So, yeah, if you feel like I've wasted your idea, it's gonna go. Everyone would be very happy and paranoid at the same time. All the creatures have permanent smiles. Painful, angry. Really? Okay. All right. Oh, we've got a creation story again. Another idea for create. We've got two creation stories. So, same time. I'm not sure how that's related to magic, but I'm trying to figure that out. Okay, so let's find creation stories since we seem to be on a creation story run again, and we will get to the bottom here. Oh God, I'm gonna be quicker. Shites. Copy, paste it, and let's do this. Man. Feel like I'm in the jungle. Fred of the Jungle. Creation story of a god was writing down a script for an entire world. Then okay. Then he dropped it on the ground and molded. Okay. Now I get it. Now I get it. I understand. We do not need any more creation stories. I think the joke on creation stories would go on for too long. A great. Let's take that one. Copy. Paste it, and then try and see if I can dissect this in some way. Does it make sense? Should have read it before I put it in. A big, huge beast dies in space and starts to mold. Okay, all right. So we're taking the to mold. I'm British. British English. Decays and floats. Okay. I'm not actually British, but I'm going to use British English. So this is actually getting quite extensive. Have we got our magic stuff sorted? Okay. Magic. Okay, Dynamancer. Most magic users are connected to the mushroom way. The mushroom way. We always wind up with a mushroom way. There's always some way, isn't there? There's always a way. How do we always wind up with a way? Dung beetles. Treasure, I don't need that. I don't really want treasure. I just want the magic stuff. Technology, we've got a few technology things there. Government, I don't care about the government, but we will take the magic stuff. Okay, so Dynamancer's magic. Okay, all right, so how do I do this? This is not going to be easy. Right, I wonder if I can just go like that. Right down there. Copy. I don't know how else to keep up with you. That's a problem. That's a problem. Don't do that, Fred. Okay. All right. Okay, so I can't shortcut it. But I will do my best to transfer it over, and we'll unformat it. And did we unformat it or not? Don't know that we did. Unformat. Do there. Italic. So what we've got here, most magic users are connected to the mushroom way, a symbiotic connection to everything physical, and they tap into the highway to cast spells. Okay. Sweet. That'll work. Dynamancer, got it. Looks good to me. Now, what else we got here? Amongst our many little ideas here, Fendar's idea. What is Fendar's idea here? Fendar, each spell, copy it, paste it. Each spell requires the user to eat a specific mushroom. Really? With trippy and more powerful. Hey, guys. I should have guessed. Makes sense. Oh dear. All right. So next, Fendar's idea is down. Magic spores. A world of spores, eh? Copy. This is me trying to keep up. Not doing it too well. Do not see any problems so far. The world is full of magic spores. When you cast a spell, you pull the nearby spores to you and form their power to your will. Okay, all right, sweet. So we actually got quite a few different ways that you could do this. Well, it looks. Okay. Copy. This is. You guys have got a lot of ideas about how magic should work. And where are we? We are down here. No, yes, do that, italic. Okay, how does magic work? Magic works by fighting with the myelin network, affecting the creatures about the mushrooms and fungus grow on. Okay, all right. We can probably end our magic I thought if I roll a 1 on that, poison damage. Okay, okay, right, okay, all right. Works by okay, licking certain. This is starting to get a little gross. I think we can end our. I'm going to just go with monsters. Let's create monsters now, people. Okay. See a Dynamancer. Okay, hang on. So let's hashtag create monsters. I think that'll do. That I don't know if that'll slow you down. Later, back to work. Not a problem, Smart Show. I'll see you later. Okay, so this is. Oh, where am I? Have I still got? I still got time. All right, and then that, this. Okay. Okay, licking certain types of mushrooms. These mushrooms work based on your imagination. Certain mushrooms trigger certain things in your mind. Very interesting. Lick a mushroom day. That's what it is. It's lick a mushroom day. Okay, so really gonna have a little bit of a problem here. From okay, government idea. I'll take your government idea and I'll plug it into government. I was actually going to ignore it because I just didn't feel like a fungus world was somewhere that anybody would really want to have control over. In fact, I didn't even think like is it even possible to control a world that is dominated by fungus? The leaders of the land side a base of a large it spreads from mantles on the ground. Leaders interrupt these into political decisions and law. Right. Sounds terribly depressing. There we go. There we go. I got it done. A mycamech. That sounds like a mechanized monster to me. Are you putting a mechanized monster in there? Yes, you are. Right, let's have a look. Monsters. Mycamech. Norik. I'm assuming mycamech is it's a mechanized mushroom, right? Mechanical mushroom. I don't know. I'm assuming that's what we're looking at. Carpet monster. Really? A carpet monster. Carpet monster. I feel like if it's going to be a carpet, it needs to be... is it ground cover? If you're going to have ground cover as monsters. Okay. Right, works on last one government. Okay, so Milton has got magic works in one of two ways. You're connected to the mushrooms with the okay. Right, so Milton's last idea here. If I can find it. Milton's idea. And we are slowing down. This is under magic. Magic. Okay, there we go. Got more than enough ways for magic to be working now. Just take that, dump that there, put that over here, put this here. We'll go here, and what's... a mushroom dragon. Of course we're going to have a mushroom dragon. Overboard is right. Mushroom dragons. Magic works in one of two ways. You are connected to the mushroom will or the mushroom way. I am one for steel influence. I don't understand any of this. I've written it down and I don't understand any of it. I've got no idea. I have to deal with this later. A mushroom dragon. Somebody wants a mushroom dragon. Where do I put that? And under monsters, mushrooms. Mushroom dragon. Mushroom, not, that's the wrong one. Room, dragon, come on. Okay, we've got a mushroom dragon. Okay, cool. If I'm getting even more silly, it would be the figu. Figu. What is the figu? My tears are getting getting used. Not a problem. Okay, the colossal. It's a colossal mushroom mech. Okay, so let's be specific. A colossal mechanical mushroom. Colossal mechanical mushroom. Correct? Have I got it right? Okay, all right, wonderful. I think we have, let's have a look. We've got one sort of government, which I don't care about too much. Technology, we've got a little bit of technology. We've got some pretty strange stuff here. We've got magic. We've got lots of different magic. I feel like this world is a very magical world rather than a very technology-heavy world, since mushrooms are involved, apparently. And then we have some treasure, which we didn't really know, which is fine, I guess. And we've got some monsters, which we can probably expand on later. We've got our locations. There's plenty of locations. There's like 14 there. We've got world creation stories up to Kaboo. Some more strange than others. This is obviously needing to be italicized. Italicized. Now, that's not it. That's italicized. That's not. So we've got our creation stories, and we've got our gods and goddesses. We've got quite a few. We've got our races or species. We've got to put species, race. Species and races. Okay, and we've got a whole bunch of very strange things here. And then we've got our world names and continents. And then we're going to put here mushroom world building. Mushroom. World building exercise. It is the exercise we're doing here. Now, did I do this wrong? I did. Exercise. All right, I think. Titan beasts fused with fungi. Noroak. I see it. And we're going to stop. We're going to stop because it's. I've got 5 minutes before I have to go. I am exhausted. I am tired. We have, in the space of about less than an hour and a half, we have built a lot of a world together. The community has built a lot of the structure for your world, the basic things that you would require. And I think that's good enough. Frankly, I think we're ready to go. Of course, I'll try to get it onto Patreon as soon as I can. I may have to go through some of it and censor some of the bits and pieces that are there. We'll see how that goes. I try not to do that sort of thing, but yes, I think we have more than enough to deal with what we've just done today. So I would say a big well done. Pretty good job if you ask me. I am really about to disintegrate. As I said, tomorrow we will probably not wind up doing the Ramal has. We will probably do monster workshop, and that means we will rebuild something. I don't know what, so have a think about it, people. You know where to put your suggestions. I suggest put them into the Discord. You know where my Discord is, most of you. Just chuck it in there, and I'll see if anything sort of springs to my attention, and I think, yeah, we should do that. Other than that, I am ready to disintegrate, and that's not good. Okay, well done, everybody. Well done. So I want to thank my patrons who support me on Patreon. Every month, basically, they pay $1 or more. You don't have to pay for much. There's no tiers, and you get everything. And everything we make here goes up there. Yeah, thank you very much, patrons. And everybody who's been part of the live stream and showed up for the live stream to watch or take part. And a lot of you have thrown a lot of ideas out there. So thank you. Even some of the more outlandish ideas that have been put out today. Thank you for doing that. And thank you for rewatching the live streams, watching the edited videos, and putting up with my shorts videos. I just want to say, wherever you are in the world, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, the night, or the wee early morning, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s. We will. It's not the end of the madness, I'm sure of it.